Díomh Conastatu August Fáilte. Hi guys, how's it going? And welcome back, eventually. It's been a while, 3 years to be exact. Life happened, work opportunities happened, fatherhood graciously happened, and an awful lot of motorcycle rides happened, as well as quite a bit of procrastination. But anyway, it's time to get going. Just in case you didn't catch the first video, there is a link to that in the description, which gives us a flavour of what the debut overall summary of Vagabond Bard was all about. So, number one, my YouTube channel is very much just a long-form expansion of my interest in short-form platforms like Instagram and the storytelling that I do there. Number two, the focus is very much on travel and locations in tandem with some behind-the-scenes content from those experiences. Number three, this is absolutely not any kind of gossip or expose channel, so I'm very sorry. I'll never tell. Without further ado, let us set sail on our first adventure. Drum roll, please. Bit of a clue. Yes, I am talking about Vikings. What is it? The What of Vikings? The History Channel logline on good old IMDb tells us that Vikings transports us to the brutal and mysterious world of Ragnar Lothbrok, a Viking warrior and farmer who yearns to explore and raid the distant shores across the ocean. Somewhat nudged by the recent release on Netflix, pleasant memories and pleasant reminders on there, and the fact that it was one of my first endeavours on US television, not quite my first, that was Camelot, not video on that at the time. Viking Season 1 seems like the logical port from which to launch the good ship Vagabond onto the high stormy seas of YouTube. High stormy seas. The Who of Vikings. The Who refers to my guy. On Vikings, I played Leif, one of Ragnar Lothbrok's earliest allies. A true believer in Odin's will, Leif was a fearless sailor covered in tattoos, and that told the story of his life. Now, if you've seen Season 1, you know exactly where that fate led him. Spoiler alert, that's right, the famous sacrifice scene. the when of it. When was this? Vikings Season 1 was put together in the summer and autumn, or fall for our American followers, in 2012. This video will only follow the life and times of the Season 1 OGs. Yes, indeed. The Viking Season 1 was shot in the summer and late autumn of 2012, as I say, and it is set roughly in the early 9th century AD. Now, what were the top 3 Google searches of 2012? Top 3 Google searches of 2012 were Whitney Houston, Gangnam Style, and Hurricane Sandy. What were the top 3 searches of 9th century? All of the above. But these standout historical events from the 9th century include Charlemagne was crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 800, and the Carolingian Renaissance took place. And indeed, Viking attacks began in Europe, which is generally considered the start of the Viking Age. Additionally, the invention of gunpowder in China in 808. The Where. The Where of Vikings leads us to Wicklow in Ireland and the surrounding areas. The Where of Vikings specifically brings us to Ashford Studios, just outside of Dublin, in Ireland. Viking Season 1 was filmed in Ireland's stunning Wicklow countryside, home to Ashford Studios, which had only just opened its doors for the first time. Prior to that, the main hub would have been Ardmore Studios. From rugged coastlines to ancient forests, the Irish landscape became a perfect stand-in. Keeping it local. This section dives into local learns and words and phrases. Bars and restaurants. Being Irish myself, the words and phrases weren't too difficult this time around, but should you find yourself on the Emerald Isle and around the locals, they do appreciate the effort of cúpla focal, which is not as bad as it sounds, and in my Irish native language tongue, it simply means a few words. Local lingo. Diagwich. Hi. Hello. Conastatu. How are you? Tamagama. I'm good. Gurav Mahagat. Thanks. Sláinte. I think we've all heard of that one. And Slán. Goodbye. This Vagabond's Roof and Rest, also known as Where I Stayed. The cast and crew were spread across the city for this one in various locations of choice. Some of them decided to be more central in town. Some of them wanted to be closer to the studios just for easier access. But for me, I chose the historic area of Clontarf in North Dublin. In a past life, I had studied business at Dublin City University, DCU, which was just up the road. So I did love the area and fancied being back there in familiar circles around some friends. Clontarf, Dublin is a beautiful coastal stop town, steeped in history and charm, blending Viking legacies with modern-day tranquility. Most famously, it was the site of the Battle of Clontarf in 1014, when the High King Brian Boru led his forces to victory against the Vikings. A battle that shaped Ireland's future by breaking Norse power on the island. Today, Clontarf offers a picturesque promenade along Dublin Bay with stunning sea views, charming period homes, and a relaxed village-like atmosphere. It's a place where history lingers in the air, from the echoes of medieval clashes to the elegant Georgian and Victorian architecture that lines its streets. Whether strolling along the wooden bridge to Bull Island or unwinding in one of its cosy pubs, of which there are many I enjoyed. Local learns, bars and restaurants. Dublin bars. During filming Vikings Season 1, we spent a hell of a lot of time around the Merrion and Ballsbridge area of Dublin. There are so many famous watering holes around there, including O'Donoghue's on Bagot Street, legendary, Crow's in Ballsbridge, and favourite based on the location really was Keogh's on South William Street. A fun fact is I celebrated my 30th birthday in Cassidy's of Westmoreland Street with my fellow Vikings, as well as other friends and family around me, which was a fun night out for all. Regarding restaurants, Dublin really offers so many old school options, both today and back then. It is quite a while ago now. But during filming, it was hard to pick out one specifically because we did end up hitting quite a few of them. But for me, I will give a shout out to the exceptional Hugos on Merrion Row, where we had some of our earliest cast bonding dinners and a few birthday dinners along the way, as well as final farewells. In the rear view. In this section, I will just be looking back, as the name suggests, on the memories and takeaways of various experiences and jobs. With Vikings, I would say that just a lot of happy memories and of a good time in my life, to be honest. It was a crossroads time in my life, I would say. I had, at the start of 2012, just moved to London to pursue my acting career. I'd been settling in, getting an agent, had a side hustle job, bartending and whatnot. I was just getting my feet under the table there, I felt. When, of course, Murphy's Law, my next job pops up, and it's Vikings, which is back home in Ireland, which was great. It represented a sort of a end of a 6-month period there of moving away for the first time and getting settled, getting into my rhythm in London. But then, coming back to Vikings was a lot of fun and very exciting. There was a little bit of backstory and a little bit of legacy there as well. 2 summers prior to that, in the summer of 2010, I shot the show Camelot for the Stars Network USA, which was also produced by Vikings producer, among other things, Morgan O'Sullivan. Morgan and I worked together on Camelot. Our paths crossed again for Vikings. So that was a nice overlap to be returning out with the Vikings. The standout memories, I guess, on set are just a lot of hard work, a lot of big battles, a lot of digging in together, a lot of teamwork. And that's what I take away from it. A lot of night shooting. So a lot of stunt rehearsal. It was intense. It was full on, but it was a team effort. And I think in the end, there's a sense of great pride there, I suppose, because Vikings is this TV show that people really connected with and that they love and has stood the test of time with various spin-offs and follow-on series. So to be part of that first season is something I'm proud of. Anecdotally, then I suppose I'll add a little story into these sections going forward. Anecdotally, I would say that a really fond memory is right at the beginning, to be honest. You get the job, you sign up, very excited to be coming back from London to shoot Vikings, and there's a lot of questions in your mind as to what's this going to look like, what's it going to be, and what's going to be asked of me. And one of the first things that were asked of me was by the wonderful hair and makeup professional, Dee Corcoran, who had something up her sleeve with regards to the very distinctive haircut that Leaf sports. It was a half and half. So as you look at him front on, he looks like he has a, regular short haircut up top. But from behind, it looks like he's nothing at all. So it was a kind of a half and half on the lateral, or whatever you want to call it. The origin and the genesis of this idea, Dee is a multi-talented hair designer, multi-award winning. But I walked into the office. It was my turn to find out what she had in store for me as she was moving through the cast. Very recently, before we started filming Vikings, there had been a discovery in Scandinavia of the grave sites of the warriors. And they were all buried in 9s. The Vikings were obsessed with the number 9s. They launched their ships in 9s. They tried to have the women together in 9s when they were pregnant. I seem to remember that detail somewhere along the line. But she produced these artist renders, these sketches of these bodies that had been removed from bogs in Scandinavia that were just immaculately preserved. But all of them had wounds from battle, so they had died with great honor. But they all had this haircut. So that was a fascinating glimpse into the past for me. But it was also a terrifying look into my immediate future, which was going to be walking around Dublin with this haircut. Suffice to say, there was a lot of beanies and baseball caps in my summer, autumn, and early winter of 2012. That's Vikings in the rear view for me. That is, in the rear view is a summary, a look back, a takeaway, just an encapsulation of what I take with me as I move on from these experiences and on to the next. That's it, folks. We're finally up and running with the first official Vagabond Bard video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get back to you there. New platform, getting used to it all, but I will figure it out. Don't forget to slaunch that like button if you did like what you saw, and subscribe. There will be more coming much sooner. Very soon, we promise you. Slán agus bannacht. Bye for now, and good luck. Grá mór, vagabonds. Big love.